photography on a budget. Part 1, we talked about tips that we could use outdoors. And to tell you the truth, if I had the choice, I'd rather be taking my pictures outdoors. The light is always better and you get a truer color. And when you're selling online, color is probably one of the most important questions that people will have.
Shooting with the light source behind the object not only makes the object darker, but it sometimes confuses the camera and makes it difficult to focus. Here I tried again by moving a little bit, and it did lighten my subject, but it's still not focused and the background didn't come out too pretty. I raised the flash for this picture, and while it is the best of the three, I find the background to be a little distracting and the foreground didn't even focus properly. Now while this picture is perfectly acceptable, the background is plain, the picture's in focus, but notice how the flash reflects off the white head underneath through the holes. It takes away from the detail. Now just so you can see the difference, this is the same hat taken outside in the shade because it's an extra sunny day outside. But note how you can see the clusters so much better. The eye is not drawn to the holes because there's nothing reflecting off of the white head beneath. And if you'll notice, there's not a whole lot of difference in color between our indoor and outdoor pictures, so we get a thumbs up for that. I do wish I had stood a little to the left so that I'd get more hat and less face.
There are so many things to consider when you're taking a quality photograph that you could really get bogged down in the details. So I would say one of your most important things you need to focus on is the color, since that's going to be a big question in most people's minds. You don't want it to appear one way and the customer thinks that's what they're getting, and they get home and they might be disappointed. So look at the following pictures. I set up the object, I lay down on my stomach, zoomed in and filled the frame, and then I took the same shot over and over again with different settings on my camera. Now in my case, I have that selection dial at the top of my camera. If I set it to scene, I can scroll through a whole list of preset settings. It'll be named things like indoor, bright sunlight, beach, fireworks, aquarium, foliage, a whole array of choices to help you get the best shot. I just kind of flip through each of those and choose the one I like. I don't get bogged down in what they're called. For example, right now I'm shooting on the foliage setting because that's what looked right to me in the viewfinder. I hope it turns out okay. That's what looked the most accurate to me than indoor. When I looked at indoor, it looked very washed out almost. So don't get bogged down in what it's called. You choose what looks best to you. Now keep in mind that we don't know what the customer is going to be viewing these pictures on. We don't know how accurate the screen is that they've got. But we can't do anything about that. All we can do is control what we present. So let's say that the reason you have to take your pictures indoors is because the only time you have to take pictures is after work at night. Okay, so you don't even have the light coming in through the window. Well, one of the best tricks is to get a light box. And you can search on Amazon and they come in a wide variety of prices. But then again, once you buy the light box, then you have to buy the lights and yada. Now, this video is yarn photography on a budget. You know, I'm going to throw in the budget thing here. Do a search on do-it-yourself, DIY, light boxes, photo light boxes. And you'll get 100 million ways to create this same effect for stuff you probably have lying around the house. But if you're ultimately lazy, like me, then you'll come up with a different way that still fills the bill. Will it be perfect? Probably not perfect, but as long as it shows off your work in a good quality way, perfection is not what you're going for.
If you like this picture, then stay tuned for my Lazy Bones Jones light box.
This is my budget light box, and basically what I'm using here are two mini folding project boards and a lamp with a tilting shade, and then the green thing attached to the top up here. See, it just kind of is clipped on. This is an OT light that I got from Joann's for 50% off. I think the original price was $20. It's LCD lights, excellent task lighting. I can clip it to the front of my shirt when we're traveling or something like that. But your concept is to have a non-distracting background, which would be the white. The white also reflects, so it helps you have light bouncing all around. I only have 2 light sources here. If you had 4, one in every direction, then you wouldn't have any shadows. But actually, let me see if I can emulate taking a still shot with this video camera. I can't control, in other words, my lighting and all. But I'll take a still shot and we'll see how we did. But this is pretty good setup for a budget light box. Works pretty well.
Here's the photo as is, right out of the camera. And here it is with a little Photoshop work on it, much better. And this is artistic editing, or at least my attempt. Clearly I need to work on that, but those of you who are creative could go crazy with that.
Now for those of you who do have the luxury of being able to take your pictures in the daylight, here is a way to get that same light box effect, but using it outdoors.
Yep, we're back on the porch again. First I made sure what time of day it was, where the light was coming from. Clearly this was an overcast day, which is good. We didn't get a lot of shadow. I put the folding project board in the chair and scooted the chair around so that it would have the best light. Then I hopped down on the ground so that I could be eye level with the hats. And I zoomed in so that you could see nothing of the chair, only the white part. And snapped the picture. And here's the result that you get. So that's all the photography tips I have to share right now. We could talk about staging, which would be theming your pictures as I've done in this one and the next one. But I'd love to hear any comments or feedback, suggestions, and ideas. Thanks for watching. Bye.